My name is Joshua. I used to be a carpenter in the city, but then I had the bright idea to drag a 32-foot wooden sailboat into the woods of eastern Canada where I'm living off-grid. Built in Japan in 1966, for almost half a century she sailed the seven seas only to be marooned on the other side of the world. I aim to fix that. The only problem, I've never worked on a boat before. This is a boat in the woods. April 27th, 2026. While I'm searching for framing stock from a sawmill since harvesting my own didn't go so well, I decided to start reinforcing the hull to prep for more demo. I took a trip into town for supplies and to fill up my propane tanks. With the measurements I had taken earlier, I stopped at my local sawyer to pick up some hemlock strapping that would make up the outwales that I'm going to install to help hold the boat in shape. In order to install them, I first need to put together a steam box. Luckily, I had already built one for a carpentry project I did with a friend last year. Unfortunately, it's a bit big since we were trying to bend a large piece of baseboard around a radius. I'm hoping that the totally overkill propane burner I got will generate enough steam. It feels like if you turn it up too high, it might start generating thrust. April 28th. I had to do some repairs to the steam box before I could use it, starting with the door, which had come off its hinges after the wood had expanded in the rain. Then I thought I'd try insulating the box with some blankets I got from the local thrift store for a couple bucks. The stock pot I'd made to power the steam setup wasn't working. It lets too much steam out from around the lid. Plus, the fitting fell off where the lid rusted. So, plan B. A thoroughly cleaned brake cleaner can that I got from my mechanic. It already has a plastic threaded insert that accepts common plumbing fittings, so I can easily attach a hose, if I had the right fitting. A couple quick modifications later, shortening the pipe and adding insulation, and I had the first version of the steam generator ready to heat up. While I waited, I wrapped the blanket insulation with some rope, and then connected the hose. It took a long time, but eventually it reached just over 90 degrees Celsius. Not quite the 100 degrees that I'm aiming for, but close. I'll keep refining it tomorrow. April 29th. Another day, another trip to the hardware store. I picked up some larger diameter hose as well as some 90-degree fittings to help ease the strain at both ends of the hose. I might need to lift the steam box even higher to get the hose on an angle. While I waited for the box to heat up, I went in the boat and marked the location of the bilge stringer by pushing old zip ties through the planking where the seams met the top edge of the stringer. This gave me a visual reference on the outside of where to install the bottom edge of the outwell so that it wouldn't interfere with the stringer's through bolts when I went to remove it. The steam box seems to have stalled at 80 degrees Celsius. It rained, so the blankets are soaked, which I'm sure is cooling things down. I turned up the heat on the burner and taped a contractor bag on the end of the box to accommodate the 12-foot strapping, and then loaded the first two pieces into the steamer. I had an hour to kill, so I modified the boat props so that they were out of the way where the outwell was going to go. I also made a really rough heat shield out of foil to try to capture some of the heat that was escaping past the edge of the steam vessel. It looks janky, and I'm definitely going to redo it, but it actually bought me an extra 10 degrees. The biggest weak point of the system is trying to make sure that the can always has water in it, but not too much. According to Lou from Tips from a Shipwright, 3 inches is the ideal amount of water to have in the steam vessel. I wish I could figure out a simple system to automatically maintain the water level, like a float or something, but I can't think of anything that won't get destroyed by the flames or the steam. I was considering modifying a toilet float valve, but I can't open the can to get it inside. The other option I'm leaning towards is an external reservoir that I can monitor and keep the water level at 3 inches. I'll explore that later. Before I could install the outwell, I had to remove a through hull that was in the way, but of course it was seized. To be safe, I'm going to replace all of them eventually, so I don't mind destroying them to get them out. I ended up using a grinder, but I saw a really quick way to do it with a step bit. I just don't have one of them yet. Then it was go time. I put on my tool belt, filled a pocket with screws, and then put on some welding gloves before taking the very first steamed board out of the box and installing it along the zip tie markers. It went really well, even though the box only got up to 85 degrees Celsius. Ugh. The second board went on just as well as the first.
That actually worked.
It might not seem like much, but these 2 boards, curving around the hull, marked a huge milestone for me.
Whoa.
And to finally have a win after so many setbacks gave me a much needed feeling of relief. Now, I just needed to refine the steam box so that I could get it up to 100 degrees.
Oh, I bent the thermometer.
April 30th. I've decided to make a few modifications to the steamer. The first, which I think will be the most impactful, is reducing the size of the box. I'd like to be able to fit at least 4 frames or planks in at once, but if that's overkill, I can always change that again in the future. So I got to work disassembling the box. When I built this originally, I had run out of screws, so I used some nails I had on hand to fill in the gaps. Unfortunately for present day me, they were ring shank nails, so they were kind of a pain to pull out. Once I had the first box disassembled, I went to go pick up my saw and power station. I also grabbed the extension I had built for the steam box so that I could modify it too. With everything taken apart, I got to work, ripping all of the boards to size. Then I just had to put everything back together and re-drill the holes for the dowels that support the stock inside of the steam box. Oh. After modifying the door and latch, it was done. I was really hoping to test it out, but I'm out of time and we're about to get a big rainstorm. I'm really happy with the work this week. I'll keep refining the steam setup and hopefully I'll get all of the external supports installed next week.